Business behavioral ethics scholars study corruption in organizations, and I'm no different. But I'm particularly obsessed with cases where corruption is repeated in the same organization, even when people are trying to stop it. Take Wells Fargo, for example. In 2016, we discovered that they had created millions of fraudulent bank accounts in the names of people that had no idea of them. You'd think that such corruption would put an end to this type of fraud, but in the next few years, we learned of new scandals involving selling unneeded auto insurance and overcharging small businesses. It seems like the people at Wells Fargo were making these decisions over and over again, perhaps without really thinking. We do lots of things without thinking, like tying our shoes or driving a familiar route, and maybe ethical decision-making works the same way. Researchers have discovered the importance of intuition in decision-making, but have not looked into whether incentives in organizations can cause behavior to become intuitive or automatic. So I am. My advisor, Marion Fortin, our colleague, Tessa McCondian, and I have been reviewing the business ethics decision-making literature to try to help answer the question as to why intuition sometimes leads to better behavior than deliberation, and sometimes not. One of the patterns that seems to be emerging is that just like physical training helps create muscle memory for athletes, repeated patterns in decision-making does seem to develop intuition. We don't know how fast this happens, but researchers David Rand and Alexander Pesakovich have discovered that they could get people to behave cooperatively against their financial interest if first they had them play a cooperative economic game for 20 minutes under rules of cooperation. Researcher Scott Reynolds has looked into the neurosciences to develop a theory of ethical decision-making that explains why this might be. He says that when we're faced with new situations, we develop and store neural patterns in our brains that embody the situation we're in and the decisions we make. In later situations, our brains search for patterns that match, and if we find one, we replay the decision we've already made. To put this to the test, I made business ethics students in France face a series of business ethics simulations, and I told them to be good over and over and over again in exchange for extra course credit. Other students I told to make whatever decision they liked for the same extra credit. Later, when I tried to use extra credit to get them to make bad ethical decisions, the students who I told to be good before were twice as likely to stay good as the others. I saw similar results with participants recruited online in the United States who had asked to make intuitive ethical decisions, this time using money as an incentive. Strikingly, I also discovered that if I paid these people to be bad over and over and over again, 25% of them would stay bad even when I offered them money to be good. It does seem that once we repeat unethical behavior, it's hard to get people to stop, especially when they're not thinking. Next, I'm going to try to put these techniques to use in a real business setting and help people behave more ethically by training them to do the right thing over and over and over again before they face these situations at work. Wish me luck. If I'm successful, you may all be cheated just a little bit less.